Classic RuneScape is going full on survival. And yes, Classic RuneScape is in the RPG MMO that we've all grown in love. Jagex's newest game was just revealed to everyone, and that is RuneScape Dragonwilds, dude. Check it out. So set in the mysterious anema-soaked continent of Ashenfall, Dragonwilds will throw 1 to 4 players into a brutal co-op survival experience. The world is beautiful, yes, but it is also deadly. Think lush forests, twisted with wild magic, jagged cliffs, crawling with warped creatures, and dragons that don't just guard their treasure, they simply own the sky. There will be 5 distinct biomes at launch, each promising a unique resource, enemy, and challenge, from the crumbling ruins of the forgotten civilizations to new takes on familiar RuneScape landmarks. Dragonwilds isn't just a survival game, it's a RuneScape survival game, so naturally skilling up is at its core, meaning you're going to go chop down trees to increase your wood cutting and spend hours and a lot of time doing so. Same thing goes for mining or potion making or, cooking, you name it. That skill is only going to be increased by doing that specific activity. It's taking the skill upgrade mechanics directly from the classic RuneScape that we all know and love, and then combining that with the survival / RPG genre. As we can see via the trailer that they dropped, unfortunately it is really short and only like 20 something seconds, but we can still see a lot loaded in here. One of the things I want to point out is obviously the interface, right, in the UI. We can see a lot from this screenshot here. Obviously, we've got our toolbar, which is pretty standard for survival games. We can see some of the food buffs that are being applied to the individual player, which again looks like to be more shaped like a Valheim kind of take versus being like you have to eat to survive. I could be completely wrong, obviously. Maybe they do force you to eat in order to, not die. But anyways, it looks very similar to other survival games in that aspect. Again, as I mentioned before, we do have the overall skills that, you level up by doing that action, and on top of that, it looks like we have magic inside of the world, and via this trailer we can also see a handful of different classes that you'll obviously be able to play or develop yourself. And combing through all of the information that is currently out there about the game, which unfortunately isn't a whole lot, but combing through all of the news sites like IGN, Polygon, and the game's official Steam page, by the way, that is up if you guys have not wishlisted it and you wish to do so. I'll try to remember to put that link down below in the description or the pinned comment. But combing through all of that, it looks like when it relates to classes, it's not going to be a class-driven, like select your class when you first start the game. Instead, it's going to be very custom, and it's going to allow the players themselves to hone their own class based on a few different variables. The first one being obviously these skills that they pick and choose to use, because you can't equip everything at a time, and as you level up, obviously you're going to unlock, these 3, these 3, these 2, these, whatever. So then you're going to pick and choose which ones you want to unlock utilizing your points, which again will create your class. And on top of that, the weapon of choice that you pick, right? If you're going to be running around using a mace and a shield, then you can go a little bit tankier. If you're going to be more of a ranged class, or use like the magic elements of the game to be more of like a wizard or a mage, well then again you can do so by picking and choosing to use staves or wands or anything of that sort. Again, it adds a lot of flexibility, and it still sticks true to the classic RuneScape that we all know and love, but it's just going to again add some of those little survival elements along with a compelling story. And speaking on skills, it also looks like we're going to be unlocking some additional skills or magical ways to harvest and gather resources a lot easier by doing and leveling up that individual skill. And what I mean by that is the more you chop wood and the higher level your wood cutting skill is, it looks like you're going to unlock some additional abilities which do look magical that will make it easier to chop down wood. As we can see here in this trailer, they show like this glowing purple axe that is magical that then chops down several trees. Very, very cool looking, and it's going to add a really unique take to how you gather resources in the game. It's probably going to be more efficient as you level up to utilize these to your advantage versus actually running up with the standard axe or pickaxe to harvest whatever that resource is. And when it comes to enemies and bosses that you're going to uncover throughout the map, one of the notorious ones is obviously going to be the dragons that they do show several clips of here in the 20-second trailer. Clearly, all of the dragons that you're going to uncover will have different abilities. You're going to have to study the mechanics and then obviously go in either fighting by yourself or, with a co-op of friends. And it's not just dragons. You'll also recognize other creatures like the rats, trolls, cows, goblins. I mean, you name it. They've all essentially evolved or have been infused with Ashenfall's, mystery magic that has swept over the realm, and has kind of turned them into these bizarre plant-infused, alternate versions of themselves, doing things that you wouldn't typically typically see them do. And the game supports up to 4-player co-op, and honestly, co-op is going to be key here. You're going to plan your base together, divide up the individual roles to take on the challenging bosses, you name it. It's essentially going to be RuneScape meets Valheim meets a lore-rich, chaotic fantasy frontier. But behind all the crafting and the combat, Dragonwilds is filled full of mystery and lore. It looks like Jagex here is really doubling down on the storytelling aspect and really trying to craft the world in the sense of mystery, and that something has gone wrong, right? Like terribly wrong. And obviously at its center, as the trailer teases upon, it looks to be some sort of dragon queen that we're going to have to eventually take on to cleanse whatever this sort of corruption or magic is that is filled through Ashenfall. And I personally love this. It's essentially taking the aspects of RuneScape, the MMO, that I love, like, you know, putting in the time and effort to truly level up your skills and hone into building the class that you want to play as, but then also combining that with the survival elements of games like Enshrouded or Valheim that I absolutely love, and then just combining that all together, or, you know, the glue that's sticking it together to make it a little bit more meatier and separate it from other games out there, this really awesome story, you know, rich, driven, you know, narrative to just tie it all together to make what they are calling the RuneScape Dragonwilds. As always, though, I want to know what your thoughts are, man. Let me know down below in the comment section. As more information unfolds about the game, I'll be doing follow-up videos going deeper into the mechanics and, you know, anything else that is, you know, provided from the developers themselves. So stay tuned here on the channel. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe here for everything survival games related, including the brand new RuneScape survival game. Additionally, I do have a Discord community for a variety of survival games we all play together, and it's just a good way to stay up to date with me. You can find that link down below in the description. But with that being said, as always, guys, I'll see ya on the next one.